It became very clear that when I was here, I felt better and that I was handling the stressors in my life in a much better and healthier way than I was previously. Hi, I'm Molly Ercole. I'm 39 years old and I've been doing CrossFit for almost a year. I began in January of 2018. Grew up in both the northeast section of the city and then ultimately wound up spending most of my childhood in South Jersey. Through school, did some sports, nothing that I was super passionate or particularly good at. Played field hockey for a while, did some track. Went to college at the College of New Jersey, graduated in early 2000s and met my husband shortly thereafter. When we met, we weren't the healthiest couple. We enjoyed going out a lot. There wasn't a whole lot of focus on exercise or nutrition. And then around 2008, I believe, we were living in Roxborough and we went to watch some friends that were running in the Philadelphia Marathon. And we were standing there and these runners are just going down Main Street and, putting in the work. And I turned to him and I was like, we can do this. Like, we can totally train for something like this and do this. That kind of kicked off our phase with running, which is not just a phase for him. He still is like an amazing trail runner. But so running kind of became the thing that we did. And started building up slowly, did 5Ks, 10Ks, a bunch of halves, ultimately did run the Philadelphia Marathon together back in 2012, and, just became more focused on doing that on a regular basis. Fast forward to now, was doing some running and some spinning, actually took up rowing a little bit at the Y. We have a membership at the Ambler YMCA. A few summers ago, and was just kind of doing those things intermittently when life allowed. I mention when life allowed because about 6 months after my daughter was born, my dad was diagnosed with terminal cancer. About 3.5 months after that happened, my mom suffered a severe stroke. So everything just kind of got flipped upside down as far as I was a new mom, staying at home with my daughter. Thought I was going to be spending the next few years focusing on my dad's care. He all of a sudden became my mom's caregiver, and I ultimately, did wind up taking the role of his caregiver because she was no longer able to go to all of his appointments and treatments with him. About a year and a half ago, my dad's health was getting worse. Things were starting to seem a lot less manageable for him over in New Jersey, so we relocated my parents to Ambler, actually conveniently into a house directly across the street from us, so that we could help them out on more of a regular day-to-day basis. And a few months into that whole transition, I was just feeling really overwhelmed. I wasn't making time for myself to do the things that I mentioned, and I just felt like I needed an outlet. And I started doing some research online and wound up here. All of a sudden I was, came to check out the box, started base camp the next week, and just really haven't looked back since.
Do you remember what you were looking for?
Just to take time for myself and refocus on my own wellness. Physically, I wasn't doing a lot to take care of myself physically. I was feeling, an incredible level of stress and anxiety between what I was dealing with day to day and then also what lay ahead as far as both of my parents' well-being, and just something that would force me to get out and take that time. It's very easy to kind of push that off when you feel like you have other responsibilities that are more important and you're constantly talking yourself out of taking that time for yourself. I don't know if it was because, I was paying money to join somewhere or something like that, but ultimately what happened was, I did sign up for a membership, but once I got in here, it was so empowering for me physically and mentally that I just wanted to make it more and more of a priority and get here as much as I could. So for about the first 6 months or so that I was here, I think I was coming 3 times a week. Sometimes I couldn't even make that work, with my parents' demands, life demands, whatever. But it became very clear that when I was here, I felt better and that I was handling the stressors in my life in a much better and healthier way than I was previously. So around the summertime, I really started, focusing on getting here as much as I could, and now I'm here usually about 5 days a week. Here at Kanna, there's like so many different types of people with so many different goals and so many different backgrounds. Not everyone is going to focus on the same thing, but it doesn't matter because everyone just comes here to work hard together. I think no matter how outgoing you are, and I consider myself a relatively outgoing person, no matter how outgoing or social you think you are, walking into a class where you've never done the activity before with a group of people that you've never met before is a little intimidating or overwhelming for anybody. But I think that is made so much easier by everyone here being so welcoming and just wanting to share their knowledge with the new people, or show new people what CrossFit has done for them. And it makes you realize that like, I'm here too, like I can do that too. Like it's not gonna happen overnight. You have to put in the work, but you'll get there. I don't know that it is for everybody, but it certainly can be. It's definitely something that has changed my life. If you had told me a year ago that I'd be spending as much time in a CrossFit gym as I do right now, I'd say you were crazy. It's like anything else, like you don't know until you try. And I think it's really worth trying.